Now to a story straight from death row and an inmate who tricked a serial killer into confessing details on way more victims than authorities ever knew. Then taking that information to a former FBI investigator to try to solve cold cases that had haunted the families of the victims for decades. Tonight, that death row inmate turned informant is here with us in the studio. But first, here's a little more background on that case.
Joseph Naso, he is the one accused of killing 4 women over a 17-year span.
Investigators found pictures of nude, dead women in his Reno home.
For decades, serial killer Joe Naso used the promise of fashion photography to lure victims to their horrific deaths. Convicted of 4 murders, suspected of 10. Now at age 91, he's serving life in prison on death row.
It's over. He's done. He's not coming out again.
But what if the actual number is more than double, possibly more than triple that? Listen to this fateful call from inside San Quentin to former FBI investigator Ken Maines.
Information about the serial killer that's death row with me.
The information that flowed out coming from an unlikely informant who was also on death row, Willian Noguera.
One day, Joe revealed to me his biggest secret of all. He was laughing about it. He was laughing at law enforcement. He said, the cops got it all wrong. Naso said that list of 10 is not all my kills. It's just my favorites. The truth is, I killed 26 women.
Now Noguera and Maines, former convict and cop, teaming up to try to solve as many as Naso's cold cases as possible.
I needed her.
They are already helping bring answers to victim family members in their documentary series on Oxygen called Death Row Confidential: Secrets of a Serial Killer.
I'm emotional right now because it was always a dream to be able to help families. It's part of my debt that I owe society.
And joining us now here in the studio are the executive producers of Death Row Confidential, Jason Wolf, Patrick DeLuca, and former inmate turned criminal profiler, Willian Noguera. Guys, thanks so much for being here. Bill, I have to ask straight out, how many of these cases, 26 potentially here, how many of these cases do you think you'll be able to solve?
Oh, a great many of them, because we have the information on these cases. We're working with law enforcement right now. They're interested in these cases, and there's a lot. This is just scratching the surface.
And it wasn't like it was a full-on confessional. I mean, you were working on him for years, right?
For a decade. From 2013 to 2023, I worked on him. I took notes every time I spoke to him, and he began to really feed everything that he knew. And that was dates, times, locations, bodies, everything. And ultimately I discovered that he had actually killed 26 women rather than the 10 that law enforcement thought. And they had only solved 4 of those cases, actually 6. So that's what this show is about.
And in all that time that you spent with him, like, was there something that sticks out in your mind that was like particularly disturbing?
Yeah, just the overall feel that this guy was describing the way he would kill people, how he would kill women, and that he was actually aroused while he's telling me this. And there's the big one is that at this whole time, he was actually a father raising 2 children. He was a Little League coach, and no one knew he was there. He was that good. He was the perfect monster.
Living this double life. I mean, in terms of the note taking, like you're not a cop at this point. You're not even working with cops. You're literally just in prison.
Yes.
Were you hiding your notes? Like, how did you keep files on somebody that you were documenting while in lockup?
Exactly that way. I was writing everything down, documenting dates, times, years, because this wasn't an interview that took over 5 minutes, an hour, over a hamburger and a Coke. This is an interview that I kept interrogating him. I'd ask him the same question at 3 years in, at 5 years in, at 8 years in, to see if the consistency of his answers were the same. And they were.
And so now you're on the outside and you're hoping to go possibly find these bodies and give these families some closure?
That's the biggest motivation behind all of this, is to give the families finalization and closure. That's my motivating factor in all this. And yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. We have the evidence. These guys have been working with me. We're going to show the world an entirely different type of animal, a person that hides in plain sight and no one knew he was there.
And Patrick and Jason, I mean, while this is going on, people are going to be watching this series and they're going to be like, wait, hold on. Like, where are the police right now? All this information is coming out. Are investigators taking this seriously?
Yeah, I mean, at first you call and say, hey, I'm a TV producer and I may be able to help you solve a cold case. The source is a death row convict, incredibly incredulous. But they wanted to see everything, and we sent them everything we had. Multiple police departments went and interviewed Bill to vet Bill, and we worked really closely with multiple departments.
And yeah, it was pretty amazing to see, basically, with the investigator who's at the center of the series, sit down with Daly City Police Department, which is in Northern California, Yuba County, Berkeley PD, and them receive that information and actually take action. So they're fully pursuing these cases, which was a pretty great result to be part of.
Now, I don't want to get ahead of anything that's going on, but I mean, you were there, you were talking to Naso. Are there other serial killers that you took notes on, other cases that you're also looking at?
Yeah, absolutely. This was the tip of the iceberg. I have been researching serial killers for more than 35 years, and I've documented everything. And that's something that we're actually working on right now, because there are many more cases, many more families that are going to start getting answers that they've sought for decades. You know, that question, what happened to my child? That's a motivating factor for me. These families don't know what happened to their kids.
And speaking of that motivation, I mean, you were in lockup, like you killed somebody.
Yes.
And you're now out. How did that come about? And why are you doing this?
Well, it had nothing to do with this case or anything. I purposely, and they agreed, we kept this completely silent. I didn't want to be let out of prison because I was working with law enforcement. I got out of prison because a court decided that the sentence I received, which was death at one time, was the improper sentence. Another judge came in and said the special circumstances were not true. The person that testified against me was ruled to be lying. I was released because of that reason. I went to a parole board. The California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation found me to be suitable, and the governor of California did not stand in the way. He opened the door, basically. And that's why I'm out. So all of the things that we're doing, the only motivating factor is the victims' families.
And in terms of those victims' families, what's been the reaction?
Well, it's been mixed. You know, they had closed the door. They didn't know the information. Then they started learning the truth, and of course, that took a lot. It's very emotional. Detective Ken Maines, who is part of this series, he's actually the person that spoke to the victims' families, and it was an emotional moment. I wasn't there, but I was told what they said, and it was they were grateful that someone actually took the time to give them the answer that they sought out for so long.
No, really appreciate you guys being here, and really looking forward to this weekend, the premiere. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having us.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app, or watch live on our YouTube channel.